Imagine this, somewhere right now, an elderly woman is climbing a narrow mountain path in the Himalayas. Her knees ache. Her breath comes in thin, cold air. She has traveled 1,200 kilometers across India, sometimes on foot, sometimes by bus, to reach a small shrine nestled between snow-peaked mountains. She is on a Kar Dham Yatra. Most people who hear this term think it's simply a pilgrimage. But the Kar Dham is far more than a journey across 4 temples. It is the pilgrimage that is believed to cleanse 1,000 lifetimes of karma. It is the journey that connects you to the 4 corners of your own spiritual being. Today on Sanatan Path, we are exploring the Kar Dham Yatra, the 4 sacred pilgrimages that have called seekers for over 1,400 years. We will walk the routes that millions have walked. We will stand at the shrines where the divine is said to touch the earth. And we will discover something extraordinary, the hidden symbolism that shows how these 4 temples are actually a map of your own soul. Stay with us, because at the end of this video, you will learn the astonishing reason why completing the Kar Dham is said to grant moksha, liberation itself. The Kar Dham, Kar meaning 4, Dham meaning sacred dwelling, was established as a unified pilgrimage circuit by the great philosopher Adi Shankaracharya in the 8th century CE. Shankaracharya, one of the most influential thinkers in Hindu philosophy, created a spiritual strategy. He placed 4 temples at the 4 cardinal directions of India. Each temple represents not just a physical location, but a cosmic direction, an elemental force, and a stage of spiritual awakening. These 4 sacred sites are Badrinath in the north, Dwarka in the west, Puri in the east, and Rameswaram in the south. Badrinath, located at 3,300 meters above sea level in the Uttarkashi district of Uttarakhand, is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. The name itself, Badri, means wild berry, the fruit that grows on the Himalayan slopes, tells us that this shrine exists in nature itself, not separate from it. The temple stands at the confluence of the Alaknanda and Rishi Ganga rivers. Badrinath is open for worship only 6 months each year, from May to November, because winter snows seal the mountain completely. This teaches us something essential. Spiritual paths require seasons of preparation and seasons of arrival. Dwarka, perched on the western coast of Gujarat where the Arabian Sea meets the land, is the kingdom Lord Krishna ruled. Here, the modern city surrounds the ancient temple, which sits on an island fortress. Puri, in Odisha on the eastern coast, is home to the Jagannath Temple, one of the 4 pilgrimage sites in Hindu tradition that stands equal to the Kar Dham itself. And finally, Rameswaram, in Tamil Nadu at the southern tip of India, is where Lord Rama is believed to have performed rituals before crossing the ocean to rescue Sita. The temple here has the longest corridor of any Hindu temple, 1,220 meters of continuous sacred space. But here is what most people, even devout Hindus, do not know about the Kar Dham. The circuit is not just a physical journey. It is an inner journey mapped onto outer geography. When Adi Shankaracharya created these 4 pilgrimage sites, he was encoding a spiritual technology into the landscape of India itself. Each direction represents a different path to enlightenment. The north represents the path of meditation and stillness. Badrinath calls you to the silent, snow-covered peaks of consciousness. The west represents the path of devotion and surrender. Dwarka asks you to give your heart completely, as Krishna demands total love. The east represents the path of ritual and community. Puri teaches you that spiritual growth happens within society and tradition. The south represents the path of renunciation and knowledge. Rameswaram asks you to let go of ego and dissolve into pure awareness. Completing the Kar Dham means you have walked all four paths. You have become whole. The ritual of the Kar Dham Yatra is itself a profound teaching. Pilgrims don't simply visit these temples. They bathe in the sacred rivers at each location, the Alaknanda at Badrinath, the waters around Dwarka, the Mahandi at Puri, and the waters between Rameswaram and Sri Lanka. These ritual baths, called snana or immersion, are believed to wash away karma accumulated over lifetimes. But symbolically, water represents the fluidity of consciousness, the dissolution of fixed identity. Each bath is a death and rebirth. In our modern world, the Kar Dham teaches us something we desperately need, that transformation requires movement. You cannot grow by staying in one place, holding one belief, practicing one discipline. The spiritual path demands that you journey north into solitude, west into devotion, east into community, and south into surrender. In our age of convenience, where everything comes to us through screens, the Kar Dham reminds us that enlightenment is earned through the friction of travel, the humility of asking for directions, the grace of meeting strangers on the path who become companions. The Kar Dham is also a teaching about time and eternity. The pilgrimage can take weeks or months. You move at the pace of your own feet, your own breath, your own heart. In this way, you synchronize your personal time with sacred time, the rhythm that the universe itself follows. You move from the eternal snows of Badrinath, through the devotional fervor of Dwarka and Puri, to the renunciate wisdom of Rameswaram. You are living the journey that every soul must eventually take from birth to enlightenment. Most importantly, completing the Kar Dham is said to grant you moksha, not necessarily in that lifetime, but within the next few births. This is not a promise of escape from the world. Rather, it is the promise that once you have walked all four corners of the spiritual map, once you have bathed in those sacred waters, once you have stood before those temples and felt your smallness in the vastness of the divine, you can never return to unconsciousness. You have been touched. You are marked. You are destined for liberation. The Kar Dham Yatra is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of the end of your journey. And that, perhaps, is the greatest blessing any seeker can ask for. Subscribe to Sanatan